It's Jason Abraham, the shadow teacher. And when I was early, starting in my Qigong practice many years ago, there was a time where I experienced the phenomena. It wasn't the first time I experienced this, but that particular practice brought this out. I would see geometric shapes and balls of light, and just this, it would happen when I would get deep in my Qigong practice. And I remembered when I was a young child, if I held my attention on something long enough, the perception of what I was seeing would alter. I would see these tiny moving particles just vibrating and moving. Something you could say to akin to some of these pieces of art where you look far away, you get one image, you get a coherent image as your mind is comfortable putting images and making meaning of these images. But then when you get close to it, it looks completely different. Usually something that just doesn't make sense to our minds. And going back to the experience in the Qigong class, my instructor said that I was getting a glimpse into another dimension. And I've had this experience in my sun gazing, and some people are afraid of this when this happens. I saw someone else who was practicing the same sun gazing system that I do, and they mentioned they would start to see overlays of images, and they would get afraid of it because it was taking them out of their conditioned conscious mind. And me, I welcome that, as it is literally doing what the practice is intended to do. It's taking you into another dimension. It's taking you into a deeper, more expanded sense of perception. And I've also had this in the holotropic breathwork practice that I've been guided in. And I try to do that. I have a daily practice, which is pretty small, and then I do a big practice at least once a month with a couple of wonderful people in the community where I live. And I get the same thing. I've had geometric shapes, fractals, an experience that many who go on and take 5-MeO DMT, they talk about this sort of experience. But I want to say, once again, it's something that we can access all the time. And when you have a practice that you have a level of consistency with that pulls you here, it opens your mind. It expands the universe as you see it. And this is an important part of waking up, because unless we are jolted from a lower level of consciousness, we stay there. We are totally comfortable staying in an infantile level of consciousness if we're allowed to. But once you get out of that, once you see something beyond that, then you can't go back to it. Even when you are going back, you know there's something more. And there's part of you that's always going to drive you to move forward and be curious about what that something more is. And as you continue to practice, as you continue to dive in, and you allow your consciousness and your understanding to grow, you change. Your cells alter. You change as a being. And this is what we're called to do. This is the pathway of ascension, of awakening. And I'm not going to be one who, I share a little bit about my practices. You're never going to see me vlogging and giving you my lifestyle. There's some value to that, but ultimately I'm here to throw this idea out, and I don't want to rob you of your own hero's journey. I'm just here to share. I'm here to drop some nuggets that make you think or make you feel, that inspire you. But ultimately, it's up to you to do the work. It's up to you to find your teacher, your guides, and to communicate with them. I might be one of them, but might not. And that's okay. And when we're all doing this work, then the planet shifts. We get these greater shifts because we're waking up to a greater connectivity that all of us share. And maybe, just maybe, it's all one. Maybe the one starts to remember when the many wake up. Class dismissed.